Good evening. We start tonight with a special report. More than 1 month ago, this man you see here, Matthew Harkey, was sentenced to more than 100 years behind bars. The crime, kidnapping and rape. But that isn't where this case ends, as 5 women believe their former employer is responsible.
Yeah, that's right, Brittany. As I was going through Matthew Harkey's file, I found another case. It's this one right here, where those 5 women say that their employer, Napleton Autowerks, was negligent for years in the face of multiple harassment reports about Harkey, all leading to that 2019 kidnapping case. January 2013. Matthew Harkey is hired at a local dealership according to 5 former female employees. That's the day they say their employer betrayed their trust. We're talking about Napleton Autowerks. According to court documents obtained by 13 News, 5 former employees are suing the company. And when you Google the name Matthew Harkey, one of the first things that comes up is that he's a registered sex offender. He's had that designation since the 1990s when he was convicted in a case out of McHenry County, found guilty of sexually abusing a 15-year-old girl. Harkey was 21. Harkey, looking for employment, applied at Napleton, and he was hired. 13 News asked 3 times whether they conducted a background check or knew about Harkey's past before bringing him on board. All 3 times, our questions were left unanswered. According to court documents between 2013 and 2019, 5 women who worked with Harkey say he verbally harassed them, bribed them with vacations as well as cars to go on dates. He also allegedly made threats he would hurt their commissions if they didn't date him. And one of the most serious allegations, they say Harkey stalked them, both at the dealership and even to their homes. A key sticking point in this case is how many complaints the 5 women brought to management. Outlined in the court documents, the women say they reported Harkey several times and detailed their fears. Beyond that, they say Napleton never took action, not even talking to Harkey about the alleged incidents. Napleton, though, paints a different picture, saying several of the alleged incidents never happened or were never reported, or if they did, the women didn't provide the same details outlined in their lawsuit. Like here, where the company claims one of the reports was just a 2-minute sit-down with a manager. But there are inconsistencies, like here where the company says they punished Harkey and even suspended him for the alleged actions. But there's a key person who disagrees with that, and that's Harkey himself. He says multiple times in a response to the complaint that he was never punished, let alone suspended like the company claims. Another thing the Auto Group argues is that they shouldn't be held responsible since the woman who was kidnapped didn't work at the dealership when the crime happened. Napleton's addresses that issue further to 13 News, saying, "We dispute the vast majority of the assertions in the lawsuit and trust that the litigation process will vindicate Napleton of any wrongdoing." As to the recent criminal conviction of Mr. Harkey, the woman's name, who we've redacted here, worked for Napleton for less than a month in December of 2018. The evidence in the criminal trial established that Mr. Harkey and the woman knew each other for years prior to her short tenure at Napleton, and the heinous action in March of 2019 for which he was convicted had nothing to do with his or her employment at Napleton. But whether that argument will win in court remains to be seen. And this case went before a judge just last month. In that hearing, the judge actually took both parties into her chambers, where hours of conversation happened between both parties. That next hearing is scheduled for later next month.